A Dallas Cowboys insider has revealed the 3 moves that the team needs to make as we pivot now to the offseason, and we got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Cowboys Football 365. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out a ton. The Dallas Cowboys have a bunch of expiring contracts, meaning Jerry Jones will have to decide which former Cowboys will be hitting free agency and which Cowboys will be getting re-signed for another year or another years with the team. A Cowboys insider here has pointed out the 3 guys that you may not have been thinking about. And we're going to start it off with a pass rusher. Coming from Kyle Humans, it was an explosive ending to Jadeveon Clowney's first season in Dallas. After signing with the Cowboys a few weeks into the season, the veteran defensive end made his presence felt sporadically throughout the year as a solid run stopper and occasional pass rush threat. Clowney has already been very complimentary towards Dallas and his time with the organization, but he enters his age 33 season as an unrestricted free agent, meaning his window of earning is running thin, and this could be the final opportunity for a final career earnings. Will Dallas be willing to pay the going rate for a veteran edge rusher coming off of an 8.5 sack season? The number could be anywhere from $5 million to $8 million, depending on how generous Clowney is feeling towards the organization who gave him a chance. This season, it's no secret, our pass rush was not even close to strong enough, but Jadeveon Clowney was one of the bright spots from our edge rushing group. He put together a season with 8.5 sacks, coming off of his 3rd straight season with more than 5 sacks. So Clowney, while being an older player, he's currently 32 years old, turning 33 in February, he's still productive, and it makes a ton of sense to sign an older, still productive player to a 1-year contract. You want to make sure it's only 1 year so you don't get caught on the hook for money in the future. The way you handle it, you go 1 year fully guaranteed because, of course, how contracts work, the players want more guarantees, they want more financial security, so they would prefer to make it multiple years, but we don't want to get money tied up with an older player. So what we're going to say is we'll say, Jadeveon, we're going to meet you halfway. We are not budging on a 1-year deal, but to give you a little bit here, we're going to make it a fully guaranteed contract, and then maybe you make it higher on that $8 million end of that range of the $5 to $8 million outlined by our insider here. I know a lot of people don't love the idea of re-signing old players, but if it is a 1-year contract, their age really doesn't matter. It's, are they productive now? Are they showing signs that they're going to completely fall off a cliff next season? And Jadeveon Clowney hasn't shown that. Worst case scenario, we're eating something like $7.5 million on the cap if he doesn't produce this season, and we really desperately need more help in the pass rushing department. I would expect with one of our 2 first-round picks, the Cowboys are going to be using it on a defensive end, but we still need more help at the position. Right now, should we not re-sign Jadeveon Clowney, we are putting a ton of expectations and a lot on the plate of 2nd-round draft pick in 2025, Donovan Ezeraku out of Boston College, which makes a ton of sense. He's going into his 2nd season, drafted in the 2nd round. It is time to put expectations on that player's plate. I always pound the table for when you have rookies and when you have young players, you don't put them in the spotlight and you don't give them a ton of opportunities or a ton of responsibilities before they're ready for it. But a 2nd-round pick, you got to be ready come your 2nd season. I like the idea of starting guys really slow in their rookie year, but their 2nd season, you got to be ready to go. So if you don't want to re-sign Jadeveon Clowney and you want to rely on Donovan Ezeraku, I can understand that, but Ezeraku can't do it by himself. DeMarvin Overshown, 5.5 sacks in his first season. Came off an injury, didn't play the whole year, had 0 this year. He'll have a couple of sacks, but I don't want to put the pass rushing of this defense in the hands of DeMarvin Overshown. That's not really his position, and that would be putting too much on his plate. So Jadeveon Clowney is a guy that we need to be bringing back for just 1 more year. Let's get into our next guy here. Coming from Kyle Humans, in today's era of the NFL, teams can't afford to let versatile offensive linemen walk out the door. TJ Bass was the only player on the Cowboys roster to tally at least 50 pass blocks without allowing a sack. It may be worth it because the lack of depth around the league at the offensive lineman position. TJ Bass, currently on IR, that's why he's not on our depth chart according to ESPN, but TJ Bass was an originally backup guard who was forced into the starting lineup for 5 games this season and performed pretty well in those limited reps. He was very versatile, moving from left guard and right guard. He played 3 games at one spot, 2 games at the other. I don't remember off the top of my head which one was which, but effective at both spots. The Cowboys are going to have to place either a first round tender or a second round tender on Bass if they want to hang on to him, or that's just one of their options to hang on to him. You know, Jerry Jones wants to build this team from the inside out. That's offensively and defensively. His goal is to stop the run first and foremost on defense, and then run the football first and foremost on offense. We remember the successful Cowboy teams from the 2010s decade. They were built through the trenches with a ton of first-round picks, and that's the way that Jerry Jones is going to try to recreate those Dallas Cowboy teams and build another franchise through the trenches. He's already spent 3 first-round picks on our offensive linemen in Tyler Booker, Tyler Smith, and Tyler Guyton, which would mean TJ Bass would be a reserve guard and someone who could fill in should either Booker or Smith miss time, but it's highly likely in the NFL that one or both of your guards are going to miss time, and you're going to need a player to fill in for those guards if and when they get injured. It's highly rare that your offensive line is going to stay healthy the entire season, and your offensive linemen are always in demand. They're hard to trade for. They're expensive in free agency, so Bass is going to be a little bit more expensive than a lot of Cowboy fans may want to stomach, but he's worth it. You need to have that depth at that position specifically. Let's finish this off with our final name that Kyle Usman is urging us to re-sign. And we're actually not going to go to his quote yet because he's talking about Brandon Aubrey as his final guy that needs to be re-signed. And this is easily the most obvious re-sign in this video, although he is going to be a little bit more expensive than you may think. Stick around a little bit for that, but obviously the best kicker in the National Football League. He gives us a unique positional advantage, knowing that pretty much when we get across the 50-yard line, we are already in Brandon Aubrey's range. I know this season wasn't as statistically impressive as Brandon Aubrey's seasons have been in the past when it comes to makes for attempts. That ratio, his percentage was a little bit lower, but we all know that Brandon Aubrey is still the best kicker in football and deserves to get paid like it. Coming from Kyle Humans, seeing that his success could warrant resetting the market at the kicker position, a first-round tender may not be enough to deter other teams from being interested in the Cowboys kicker. The highest paid kicker in the NFL is Harrison Butker, who signed a 4-year, $25.6 million contract in 2024, an average of $6.4 million per year. Aubrey's party will likely request a significant increase from Butker's number. So this is how the NFL works. The salary cap is always going up, so the best player at each position, whenever they're up for a contract extension, they're always looking for a market resetting number. And a market resetting number means they want to get paid the most for their position. So, like I said earlier, Harrison Butker is making a little bit more money than you may have realized. His contract was 4 years, $25.6 million, averaging $6.4 million per season. Kind of a high cap hit for a kicker for this year and next year, with at hitting the cap for $7,305,000. You have to imagine Brandon Aubrey getting a boost from that average $6.4 million number will command something in the range of the mid sevens or even $8 million per season. But this is someone who is absolutely worth the investment. He is such a weapon. Kickers can be the difference between winning and losing football games. I'm not even going to say can be. They will be. And Brandon Aubrey will be the difference between winning and losing football games for the Dallas Cowboys. Go back and look at the New England Patriots dynasty teams. Bill Belichick did not like to invest in a lot of positions, but one position he always made sure he invested in was his kicker position, starting off with Adam Vinatieri early on in his career, and then pivoting to Stephen Gostkowski later in his career. The kickers for the New England Patriots were always well compensated, even if the quarterback was out there taking a cut to build the roster. The kicker was always making NFL premium kicker money, and that is absolutely the type of mold that we need to be following. I know it was a different NFL, but the kicker is a position we have to invest in, and Brandon Aubrey needs to be re-signed for our Dallas Cowboys. That's what I got for this video. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video all the way through. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Cowboys.